What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of The Audition with your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. I am your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. I am sitting here, and I'm going to start doing my videos really short. You know, I normally do long videos, so I'm going to start doing several short videos. So it can be hit it and quit it, you know, kind of. I don't want to lead you on too long. So before we begin, make sure you subscribe. If you have not subscribed to me, make sure you subscribe right there. Make sure you thumbs up me right here. I need your support and I need your love. I need your support and I need your love. The purpose of this video is, I guess, historical, I guess, if you will. Last night, well, to make a long story short, there was a movie that I was watching on Logo about a month ago that I failed to click the info button on my remote to see what it was called, and I really liked it, but I had to go somewhere. So when I tried to figure out what it was, I had the slightest idea. So I Googled gay movies, and it brought me up a list of a whole bunch of gay movies or whatever the case may be, and they were ranked, you know. And one of the movies, I downloaded a few of them, but one that I downloaded was called Milk. And I'm not sure if you all have saw this movie or whatever the case may be. But it is a movie based on the life of Harvey Milk, America's first openly gay government official. I don't want to spoil the movie, but I cried all up and through that movie. And the reason why I cried, and it's so emotional, is because, you know, oftentimes, you know, we in the LGBTQ community take things for granted, right? And I say we because I do at times as well. I'm becoming more cognizant of the things that I do, the things that I say, and the actions that I do, because, you know, we forget that people literally bled and died for us to have the right to express ourselves. I'm 31, be 32 in 24 days or whatever. And, you know, everybody knows in gay years, honey, once you reach past 30, honey, child, that's like dog years, honey. I'm damn near 60 right now. But I say youngins, and I say 17, 18, 14, 15. You all have the right to express, and I use the term very loosely, express yourself any way you choose. Do I agree with some things? No. But I'm an older male. I'm not, you know, 19, 14, 15, 16. And I'm sure when I was 14, 15, 16, the older males were saying the same thing about me, the way I was expressing myself. But you have the right to express yourself, to be your true, authentic self, because of people like Mr. Harvey Milk. People that wanted to make a change within the LGBTQ community. And it bothers me when we do not know our past. And I think that is I don't think it's a gay thing. I think that is an African-American thing. Because when you look at the Jews know their history. When you look at the Italians, they know their history. When you look at the whomever else, what are those people called? The Amish, they know their history. You know, and they celebrate it. But for some odd reason, we forget where the fuck we come from. And that's not just within the LGBT. I'm talking about in the overall African-American community. We forget that we stand on the shoulders of so many people. When you have people like, you know, you have the Unsung Heroes, the Martin Luther Kings, the W.E.B. Du Bois, the Frederick Douglasses, the Rosa Parks. You have all of these people, but then you have the unsung heroes that you don't know about. You have the Harvey Milks. You have the Marsha P. Johnson. I implore you, if you do not know who Marsha P. Johnson is, look it up. All you girls that are doing drag, this art form, this creation, this industry, this business, look up Marsha P. Johnson, because if it was not for her and her constituents, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now. Drag wouldn't be RuPaul's Drag Race. It wouldn't be Monday night shows at the Jungle. It wouldn't be all of these things, you know what I'm saying, if it would not been for her. If it had not been for Mr. Harvey Milk, a Caucasian man that was not just looking out for the Caucasian LGBT, but he was looking out for the LGBT as a whole. As a whole. I didn't even know, based off of that movie last night, that there were, even in Dade County, they had statutes that if you were a gay teacher, you could lose they were going to fire you. And if you were straight and supported the gay teachers, you would get fired. Can you imagine living in a world like that now? So openly? Yeah, we have this shit going on behind the scenes, of course. But so openly. To where they had so-called tests to where they could prove that you were gay. I don't know how the hell you gonna prove unless you about to blow me. And baby, if you blow me, honey, that means you gay too. So bitch, you about to get fired. So, I mean, could you imagine living in a time? And this is not, remember now, this is not so long ago. This is 2012. This is the late 70s. So what, maybe 30, 40 years ago? Right directly after the Civil Rights Movement? During the feminist movement? Can you imagine living in a time to where your chosen profession was under scrutiny because of the lifestyle that you lived? They wanted to remove the teachers because they thought the teachers were the pedophiles, that we were going to convert their children into being gay. Do you know that most pedophiles are heterosexual? These are the things that we need to know as a people, as a community, the LGBT community. I wept when I saw the things that this man went through. I commend Sean Penn for playing the hell out of that role. Was not afraid to kiss men and lay up and be halfway naked and all that good stuff. You know, some actors shy away from that. Oh, I don't want to do that, you know, da-da-da. But I commend him for doing exactly what he did. But I say this, all this to say, because I'm going to wrap this up. There's a rhyme and reason to everything that happens in life, good, bad, or indifferent. If you do not know that, if you don't know the rhyme and reason, how can you defend it? How can you, if you don't know your history, your lineage, your heritage, how can you defend it? How can you defend it? If somebody comes up to you and tell you it's wrong to be gay, or what has the gay civil rights movement, and what has it done, and you don't know it, how can you defend it? It's almost like there's two cliches. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. But how can you stand if you don't know? And then the next one, if you don't know the past, you're bound to repeat it. I'm still learning. I'm still finding out a lot of different things about our community. Not the black gay community. Not the black LGBT community. Our LGBT community as a whole. As a whole. These people that have paved the way. The Marsha P. Fields. She wasn't the only one. I mean, Marsha P. Johnson, excuse me. The Marsha P. Johnsons. Look her up. An African-American brother / sister. New York. The Stonewall riots. Look that up. Look up Harvey Milk. Watch the movie. There's a documentary on him as well. Empower yourself, young people. Young people, old people, everybody in between. How can you defend it if you do not know it? That's my main thing. How can you defend it? It kind of goes back to the slave mentality in the black church, which I'm not going to get on. But we've been taught wrong so many years in defending things so many years, but that we have not gotten down to the meat of it. We have not studied. The Bible says, study to show thyself approved. We don't study. We go on what the preacher says. what the TV evangelist says and think that it's God, that it is gospel. But it says, study to show thyself approved. I can say anything. The sky is green with blue polka dots. And if you do not study to see that the sky is technically not even blue, it's something called scattering. It's like a whole bunch of dots. You know, if you do like on the printer how it's pixelated and the printer does a whole bunch of dots, real small fine dots, and then when they come together it makes that color. That's why the sky is blue. The sky is really not blue. It's called scattering. But when you put it together, it looks blue. Study to show thyself approved. Study the Bible. Study the men, people that contributed to the Bible. Study the King James Version. Do you know about King James? Did you know that he was a homosexual? He was dibbling and dabbling with all kinds of men. They don't teach that in the church. Or we believe the King James Version. You know what I'm saying? Do you know these things? Study these things. Study these things. How can you defend it if you do not know it? That's all I'm saying. How can you defend it if you do not know it? And so, study. Study. While you're stoning your next costume, while you're preparing to walk this next ball, while you're preparing to go to the club, whatever it is, while you're preparing to go to work, take 10 minutes out of your day and study. Study. Learn something new. Please, my people, not just my black people, I'm talking especially to you, but the LGBTQ community as a whole. I'm a proud, openly out gay male. Gay African-American male. My church knows, my friends know, my family knows, and I live such a peaceful, yes I do God, peaceful, happy, prosperous life. But I recognize those people that have paved the way for me to be able to live this life without fear of getting lynched, getting arrested, getting ostracized, getting talked about, getting hurt, put in harm's way. I'm thankful to these people. If you don't celebrate your past, how can you celebrate the future? How? 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 I'm just saying it to say how. So, with all that said, because I'm done, because I'm getting emotional, celebrate what makes us great. Celebrate what makes us great as a people. As an African-American people. As an LGBTQ people. As whomever you are, your authentic self. Celebrate it. Embrace it. Live it. Project it. But while you're doing that, let's not forget to pay homage to those persons that bled, sweated, died, arrested, ostracized, lynched, put in harm's way for our civil rights, our civil liberties, and our civil freedoms. Let's not forget them. Let's not forget them. Let's not forget them. Let's not. Let's not. Because when I think about where we were as a people, it just blows my mind. If you actually just sit down and think, as an African-American people, MLK assassinated. Martin Luther King assassinated. Rosa Parks arrested. Death threats. Harvey Milk assassinated. Marsha P. Johnson assassinated. People died. Laid down their life for the good of it all. Because they believe that there is more to life than what they had. They wanted to make sure that their children, their children's children, gay children, biological children, had more. Had more. Had the freedom, had the right, had the dignity, had the pride, had whatever they needed to survive and be who they are in their authentic self. It makes you cry. It makes you cry. But then it also, when you finally do appreciate it, it pisses you off when you see people that don't. It really pisses me off. So, with all that said, how can you defend it if you don't know it? And I think that's the title of this video. How can you defend it if you don't know it? I feel like my homeboys Cyrus and Derek right now. My friend Cyrus Hansberry and Derek Mack off of Facebook. Two very influential people in my life. If you have the opportunity to know these people, very young, black, gay, profound thinkers. I can't wait to see what life has for them, because I just believe that they are going to be the movers and shakers, what's his name? The Cornel West of the gay community. If you just sit back and read the stuff that they post, it really makes you think. Sometimes you need that encouragement or that person to make you actually flip that side of your brain and say, aha, I didn't think about it like that. Or, I didn't see it that way. So, shout out to you, Cyrus, Mr. Hansberry, Mr. Big D, and Derek Mack, my favorite atheist in the whole wide world. I love you both so very much. I'm an activist for what is right. What is right will always stand. And that's it. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Audition with your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. I'm your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet. And y'all be well, be loved. And if you don't know it, how can you defend it? Peace and much love.